Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to BB Class 18 YouTube channel. Today's subject is Research Methodology, lecture by Mr. Welly Ardiansyah. And today I'm going to tell you about variables and their types. And before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Sopan Sopian and I'm from 5BB Class English Department State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya, Palembang. Here we go. Talking about variables, the first thing that we should know is the variable itself. So what is variable? Variable is any quantity that you are able to measure in some way. This could be temperature, height, age, etc. A variable is anything that contributes to the outcome or result of your experiment in any way. In an experiment, there are multiple kinds of variables, but today I'm going to tell you three of them. They are independent variable, dependent variables, and control variables. And we go to the first one, independent variable. Independent variable is the variable experimenter controls. Basically, it is the component you choose to change in an experiment. This variable is not dependent on any other variable. For example, in the plane throw experiment, the independent variable is the light color. The light color is not affected by anything. You choose different light color like green, red, yellow, etc. You are not measuring the light. Second one is dependent variable. Dependent variable is the measurement that changes in response to what you change in the experiment. This variable is dependent on other variables, hence the name. For example, in the plane throw experiment, the dependent variable would be plane throw. You could measure it by measuring how much the plane throw every 2 days. You could also measure it by measuring the rate of photosynthesis. Either of these measurements are dependent upon the kind of light you give to the plant. And the third one is control variable. What is control variable? Control variable in science is any other parameter affecting your experiment that you try to keep the same across all the conditions. For example, one control variable in a plane grow experiment could be temperature. You would not want to have one plant growing in green light with a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, while other plants grow in the red light with a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. You want to measure only the effect of light, not temperature. For this reason, you would want to keep the temperature the same across all of your plants. In other words, you would want to control the temperature. Another example is the amount of water you give the plant. If one plant receives twice the amount of water as another plant, there would be no way for you to know that the reason those plants grew the way they did is due only to the light color they received. The observed effect could also be due in part to the amount of water they got. So, a control variable in science experiment is what allows you to compare other things that may be contributing to a result, because you have to keep other important things the same across all of your subjects. I think that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.